All right. Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the NARC Spring Nationals, the Cedar Lake 360 Wing Sprint Cars presented by Personal Evolution Company. Starting the show off just a little bit different than we normally do. Usually I will play you guys a little music, let you watch the guys practice here, but tonight we have a very special guest with us, Ms. Stacy Vocati, Personal Evolution Company in what I would say is the virtual flesh right here. So I'm going to introduce her, let her say hi to everybody, and then she's going to tell us exactly what Personal Evolution Company is. Welcome in, Stacy.
Hey there. Thanks for having me tonight. It's good to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. And so tell us a little bit about what Personal Evolution Company is and does. And then we're definitely going to talk about your ties to the iRacing world.
You got it. The Personal Evolution Company, basically, we help people figure out what it is they want, and then we help them get it. It's that simple. So for achievers and people who just want to excel in whatever it is they're doing, whether that's racing or some other area of their life, there's always a gap between where they are and where they want to go. And that's what we do. We help them navigate that gap and get them where they want to be as quickly as possible and as smartly as possible.
So the process, I'm sure, like anything else, starts with you speaking to the client, or do you want to meet them first and then speak?
Well, we meet virtually. We meet on the phone or on Zoom. So I have clients all over the country, and I do want to meet the person. I want to find out what it is they're after and what they've tried, what's working, what's not working, and I really want to dig into what's going on in that person's head, and then figure out, like what's next for them, what's standing in their way, and then we go from there.
And how long have you been operating Personal Evolution?
So I have been in the coaching arena for about 10 years now. So part of that time, I was working nights and weekends getting certifications. And then for 4 years, I worked for Tony Robbins as a results coach and a business results trainer. But now I work for myself. So I founded Personal Evolution Company. Well, it's been a couple years ago now, but I dropped my job with Tony about 1 week into the quote 2-week shutdown of 2020 when COVID hit. So, and then found that the whole world changed, the whole business landscape changed. But I'm still here, I'm still kicking, and things are going well, and I'm absolutely loving what I do. So.
Well, it seems like the COVID thing actually, with you doing a lot of your stuff virtually, it actually kind of played right into your hand.
Yeah, it did end up kind of working that way. It was nobody suspected, nobody knew this was on the horizon in 2020. It caught most everybody by surprise, I think. And even though I had been working virtually all along, all of a sudden, a lot of other people started working virtually as well. And people were questioning things, and people were making changes in their lives, and they were wanting to take more advantage of the online space. They were just having to make some changes that they hadn't expected in life. And so it really did come at a good time. I was in the right place at the right time and was prepared to deal with this and was lined up and ready to go. So it ended up absolutely working to my advantage.
Well, that is fantastic, and best of luck to you. Hope everything goes well. Explain to us how Personal Evolution Company comes into the iRacing world. You and I spoke a little bit pre-show, so I'm kind of aware of this, and I have to fully admit that I get kind of a kick out of it.
Well, what was interesting is that, when COVID hit and the sports world basically shut down and there was nothing to cover on TV, that's where iRacing stepped in. And my husband and I were flipping through the channels, and we saw an iRacing tournament on TV. And I was like, oh my God, that is so real. Like if you had told me it was iRacing, I would have thought that was a real NASCAR race I was looking at on TV. And we really just got so interested in it. And before I knew it, my husband's interest in iRacing grew from having a small setup in his office beside his desk to having a full-blown 3-screen moving seat simulator in our basement. And so we got involved in iRacing, and then my husband became a client of Tommy Brandon's and spoke so highly of him and the group of guys in there and what they were doing, and said, because my husband is also an ultra runner. He said, you know what, these guys could really use some of the coaching things that I hear you talking about. And so a relationship was born out of that. And I ended up sponsoring some things with Tommy and coming along for the ride. But it was just, we were both just absolutely fascinated by it and how cool it was. And so here I am. And I find there is a lot of crossover too, because, I don't know how familiar you are with sports psychology and things like that, but it doesn't really matter what a person's doing in life. If it's the sports or in their hobbies, or if it's their jobs, careers, or even their relationships, we all have patterns, right? So this is how this helps a racer. We all have patterns. And maybe you've heard the saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but I do know that as humans, we often do repeat patterns. We repeat our ways of thinking. So when I'm working with a client, I'm always listening and I'm asking questions to figure out, what those patterns are for that person. And when I spot a pattern that's not serving a client in whatever it is we're talking about, whatever it is they're trying to achieve, if I spot something that's not working for them, I'm going to challenge that client to change that pattern. And I'm going to help him replace it with something that works better. And that pattern could be a physical response they're having. It could be a limiting belief that maybe served them at one time but doesn't so much serve them now. It could be that they're focusing on the wrong things. It could be their self-talk. It could be any number of things. But we're going to tear down what doesn't work and rebuild it into something that does.
So I want to go back a step or two here. I gleaned one thing from that. You coach the coaches?
Do I coach coaches?
Yeah, the coaches for SSR. Are you coaching the coaches?
I have had conversations with them. I'm not in a formal coaching relationship with them, no. I just want to be clear.
I'm just kind of getting on some of the coaches. I know some of the coaches, and I'm kind of getting them just a little bit right there. So, like you said, people are conditioned to do certain things at certain points. How do you learn to spot those things?
It's really about listening to what's going on and hearing them say that. And people's words have meaning to them. And so one of the techniques that I use is I'll often use their same words back. And sometimes I'll just mirror back what they just said. And when they hear somebody else say it, and I'll say, now correct me if I'm wrong, but what I just heard you say is that you're doing this. Well, yeah. And is that working for you? No. And sometimes just saying that out loud, it's like, oh, duh, it's not working for me. But they didn't have that thought before we really just sat down and went through it step by step. And so a lot of what I do is listening, talking back, asking questions. Have you thought this? What about this? What would happen if this happened? What happened if you didn't have that thought? What would happen if you had this thought? It is just a question and answer period where I'm just getting them to think differently. I'm getting them to think better. And if I can get them to do that, then we're making progress. Things are good.
Well, that is outstanding. It has been an absolute pleasure to chat with you. I actually hope at some point we can do this again, maybe down the road, get you on.
That'd be great.
If Tommy has another big event where you're in as a sponsor on that. And I'm not going to lose your information. You never know. I may need your help here pretty soon. New business coming off the ground. So I may be doing things a little messed up in my head. Yeah, it's hard to tell. There are so many gremlins running around up there right now. It's not funny anyway. But I have appreciated the time and all the explanations, the informations, and we thank you for being on the show. I hope you enjoy it. Please go watch the broadcast so you can see everybody enjoy what these guys are doing.
Will do. Thank you so much for having me, Roger.
Thanks for being here. Stacey Vicati, Personal Evolution Company, sponsor for tonight's NARC Spring Nationals here at Cedar Lake. 360 wing sprint cars. If you were around last night, you saw Dominic cover night number 1. We are covering the second night. There are a lot of drivers in here tonight. This is going to be a really good show. Get some popcorn, find a Coke, get a comfortable chair, keep the Dirt Racing Network up. YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. If you're over on YouTube and Twitch, be sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube or on Facebook, drop by the page, like, share, and follow us. Always fun to hear where everybody is watching from. If you got a favorite driver out there, once we get rolling here, make sure that you cheer for them in the chat. We do things a certain way. We got about 4 minutes before we go to our invocational and national anthem. We're waiting for cars to take the track for the practice session. They're going to get a couple of minutes of laps out there. While they do that, we think we will go ahead and pay some bills.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, big thank you to all the partners and sponsors, and a very big thank you to Miss Vicati for coming in. That was a fun interview to do. It's good to learn something new. And I didn't even know that was a thing. So fantastic to have her on. Looking forward to this. Got 32 drivers checked in for tonight. These guys already into qualifying. It is time for us to do our invocation and national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, big thank you to the Foley boys. Appreciate that as always. Qualifying already in the books. Zach Janes, Lane Stevens, Tyler Schill, Mason Hannigan, and Bruce Kling in your top 5 in qualifying. 32 drivers took time. We will get ready to divide these guys up, put them into heat races. Action about the top 3 from each one of these heats. Going to go straight to the feature. 4 heat races on tap. We will get ready to go down. For our School of Sim Racing starting lineup, on the pole for heat race number 1, Zach James on his outside. The School of Sim Racing, elbows up Sim Sport, number 21 from Troy, Ohio, Bruce Klingen. Your second row for heat number 1, the 58, Cale Heibelt. Inside, Chris Marcantonio on the outside. Third row, Fit Transportation number 20 of Jeremy Weigel from Boiling Springs, Pennsylvania on the inside, and the 32 of Angel Ortega on the outside of that row. The fourth and final row for heat race number 1 on the inside, Patrick Cobb in the 02, and on the outside, Scott Posey in the 8 machine. Waiting on just a couple of drivers here. Get into the formation. Inside of the final row, Patrick Cobb. Looks like Mr. Cobb may not make it to the starting grid, so 7 cars racing for 3 spots. All right, next time out of turn 4, green flag for heat race number 1. James and Klingen on the front row. Green flag in the air. Heat race number 1 underway. Zach James jumps right to the point. Going to come out of turn 2 with Klingen in tow. Right behind that, Marcantonio and Heibelt side by side for that third and final spot, the bubble spot. Contested until we got right there at the end of lap number 1. Now Chris Marcantonio has that in hand. James staying up on the top side, Klingen trying to run right below the marbles right there. Doing a pretty good job of keeping that right rear out of the loose stuff. Just not making up any ground right here on that 7 car. As Heibelt, big time slider, and he's going to pay the price for doing that. Right into the outside fence, up over the inside wall, into the infield. No cautions in our heat races. So we will stay green. Marcantonio now in Harris' third spot. He's going to keep it. He's got a pretty good gap over Angel Ortega, about 0.4 of a second. The red, white, and blue machine right there with the big blue wing on it. Your bubble car, third and final direct transfer spot. Top 2, gone. Zach James and Bruce Klingen absolutely gone from the rest of these guys. If we have a battle, it's going to be right here, third place. These guys coming right at us. Ortega closing the gap. A few feet here, a few feet there. He's only got 2 laps to get there. Going to have to do something. He is going to get around. Oh, contact right there. That's going to do it. It's going to open it up. Neither one of these drivers is going to get the transfer spot. Jeremy Weigel going to be the benefactor of all the contact back there. James will win it. Klingen second. Weigel going to the A main. Everybody else going to have to play in the alphabet soup to get to that feature race tonight. So 1 down, 3 to go. Heat race action. No idea what's going on with that. It's terrible. down here for our School of Sim Racing starting lineup in Heat 2. Lane Stevens' 33 car on the pole. The 06 of Ryland Gray will be on his outside. Your second row, Kenny Hoffman, the 1 car inside. Terry Queener in the 30 on the outside. Third row, inside, the Brazen Firearms U.S. Navy, number 65 from Quad City, Illinois, Jordan Eder. And on his outside, Garrett Poe in the 83 car. And your back row, Philip Kreutz on the inside and Adam Flieger. So all 8 cars make the call this time. High banks, but the track race is a lot narrower than it looks on the screen. And if you want to run up there against the outside, you have got it teetering right on the edge the whole time, unless you keep a pretty good gap between yourself and that concrete barrier out there. We saw a couple of cars pay the price for getting a little too close in the first heat. So we should get green this time out of 4. Pace truck accelerating away from the field, just waiting on that pole sitter to drop the hammer. There we go, underway for heat race number 2. Around the top side, Ryland Gray is going to get a big run out of 2. He's going to go to the lead before we get to turn 3, and he'll lead lap number 1. So put Gray in front of Stevens, and then Kenny Hoffman into 3rd. Good battle for 4th. Queener and Eder were going at it, going into 1. Now Eder clips the wall down the backstretch. Going to try that slider line in 3 and 4. Not quite going to work this time. We'll watch him. Stay with him right there on the 30 car of Queener. He's the first car on the outside looking in. Needs to get around Kenny Hoffman. He's going to take one of the transfer spots. And right now, Gray and Stevens in lockstep at the front. They're starting to pull away from Kenny Hoffman. Queener took a look on the inside, didn't have enough momentum, lost about 4 car lengths that time. Hoffman still hanging on to 3rd. Halfway home, heat number 2. Eder, slide job out of 2, slams the right side into the fence and gives us a 4th spot right back to Queener. He's not done. He's going to come right back at him. Out of 2 this time, Jordan Eder surges ahead, put him up to 4th now. Needs to run the car in front of him down. Only got 4 laps to get it done. Pretty good gap there, about 0.8 of a second. And Ryland Gray is starting to open up just a little bit on Lane Stevens. We are down to inside 2 to go. Hoffman's still 3rd. And watch the 2 at the front. I think Stevens trying to use the slider line, see if he can close the gap. It's just not going to get there as the white flag is out in heat number 2, and Ryland Gray just needs to keep the car on all 4s and make it around to the start-finish line. He'll pick up the win. He'll go straight to the A-main and take Lane Stevens and Kenny Hoffman with him. So, 50% of the way done, heat races. Get ready to look at the School of Sim Racing starting lineup for heat race number 3 on the pole. The Fairway Mortgages BS Aircats Fence Apparel. Elbows Up Sim Sports number 44 from Millersburg, PA, Tyler Shell. And on the outside, the 43 car of Joe Howe. Your second row on the inside, Jareth Pike, the 91 car, and the 73 of Charles Vestal on his outside. Row 3. The Garmin Properties SSR, number 18 from Jacksonville, Illinois, Brandon Garmin. And on his outside in the 14 card, going to be Brady King. And your 4th and final row for heat race number 3. The WR Customs Dragons DP Team SSR, number 513 from Warsaw, Indiana, Bryce Barris. And to his outside in the 77 car, going to be Ryan Washak. All right, lights off on the pace truck. Green out of 4. Tyler Shell, Joe Howe. Shell on the throttle, green flag in the air. Oh, big problems on the front stretch. That is going to shake things way up. Drop back, take a quick look at this right after the restart. There's going to be Jareth Pike we're going to see. And Pike is going to have major issues down here. Up off. Oh, yeah, he got slammed right into it. Looked like he lost a little momentum there on the exit. And since that happened, he got hammered by Vestal, I think it was. Or maybe it was Joe Howe. It might have been Joe Howe that got into him right there. So those two cars heavily damaged. Tyler Shell out in front. Brady King. Brandon Garman right now as we're going to complete lap number 4. And King missing the front nose cone and the front wing on that 10 car. All kinds of issues there. Here comes Washock trying to go through. A lot of contact. Pike, Washock, and Barris all got around during the contact. And Washock is getting pinned in on the exit. Had a good run. Just couldn't do anything on that exit. Had to check the car down. Looks like he's going to regroup and come after Jarrett Pike one more time. Jareth Pike now starting to get away. It looks like maybe Washock car a little bit out of shape. Maybe just a little too loose on the exits right here. You see the back end wagon on the exits. That definitely makes it more complicated to keep your momentum up. But it is all Tyler Shell right here. Absolutely gone. He's going to get to the white flag 1.5 seconds in front of Brady King. And King has got about another 2 seconds back to Pike. So Tyler Shell will win Heat 3 easily. He'll be in the A main tonight. He'll have Brady King and Jareth Pike joining him there. And we'll see the rest of these guys trying to work their way in out of all of the consolation races. We call it the alphabet soup. Fourth and final heat race. Going to grid out here on the front stretch for us. School of Sim Racing starting lineup looks like this. On the pole, the Tim Sims Black Diamond Motorsports number 1X from Pittsboro, Indiana. The Tropical Depression Mason Hannigan. On his outside, the School of Sim Racing Team SSR number 35 from Marysville, California, Thomas Brandon. Your second row on the inside, Timothy Alton, the 64 car, and the 51 of Robert Boggs on the inside, or on the outside, excuse me. And your third row inside, overall, over-the-wall photography, Elbows Up Simsport, number 72 from Milford, Ohio, of Jeffrey Stewart. And to his outside will be Tylen Pratt in the 9 car. And your fourth and final row in the fourth heat race on the inside, from Grand Blanc, Michigan, in the 5 car, Alex Clute, and to his outside, the 98 of Todd Hutton. You know, Wagon, I am not sure what happened there, and I'm going to have to get over there and find out what the deal is with that. Somebody else said something about that. Something changed on our YouTube settings, and I'm going to have to get in there and figure out what got played with so that I can get that fixed, because that is not how that's supposed to be, and it's not how it's been for the last 3 years. So, all right, green flag in the air, fourth and final heat race underway. Hannigan quickly to the point. Here comes Brandon around the top side. Ran right up alongside Alton. Not able to do anything that time. Still not able to do anything. Those two make a bit of contact. And now it's going to settle out almost single file. Alton with the slider line. Brandon staying up top shelf the whole time. Jeff Stewart now. Stewart going to make a bid to try to get into one of the transfer spots. He's going to go 2 for 1 through turns 1 and 2. Move him all the way up to the second spot. He was fourth when they went into turn 1 the last time by. Now runs second. Timothy Alton and Thomas Brandon really battling over third, and Alton coming up off the bottom, shutting that door. Holding it back. Yeah, we don't use VR. I don't know what the deal is. I got to get over there and see what happened. Something happened in the settings since we switched software, Wagon. Right now, Mason Hannigan decimating this field. 2-second lead, and we're barely to halfway in the final heat race. Jeff Stewart has cleared Thomas Brandon. Brandon running in the bubble spot right there, holding on to one of the direct transfer positions into the A main. He would be the 12th car locked in. Timothy Alton, Alex Clute, Robert Boggs, Todd Hutton, and Tylen Pratt in that order. Nobody in the same zip code with the 1X car. The old tropical depression getting her done right here. 2 laps to go this time. Jeff Stewart still solidly in second. He's got about 3/10 on Tommy Brandon. Brandon's got about a half a second on Timothy Alton. White flag one more time around. Final heat race of the evening. It is going to go to Mason Hannigan. We'll see him in the feature tonight, along with Jeff Stewart and what appears to be Tommy Brandon. He'll take that third and final direct transfer spot. Everybody else, find you a bowl, grab you a spoon. It's time to play in the soup. We'll see who can get the final transfer spots as we get ready to head for the feature. All right, quick look inside here. As the guys get ready to grid out. Four cars to transfer. Four cars will transfer out of the C main into the back of the B main. Your School of Sim Racing starting lineup is Charles Vettel and Tom Hutton on the front row, or Todd Hutton, excuse me. Cale Heibelt and Garrett Poe in row 2. Row 3, Brandon Garman and Tylen Pratt. The 4th row, Patrick Cobb and Adam Fletcher. And the 5th and final row, Joe Howe and Alex Clute. So 4 move on, 6 go home. Wagon Sheds, I do not doubt that. I saw it for just a moment, and I don't know. Somebody said something to me, I think last night. I got a private message, and I had forgotten about it going into today. But I will get with Dominic, and between the two of us, we will figure out exactly what got changed. I am not a fan. I'd rather watch it on YouTube most of the time because I can only do 720p on Facebook, and I can do 1080 over on YouTube. So I like to watch these on YouTube personally. So we will get it fixed as quickly as possible. All right. Vestal, Hutton.
Green, green, green.
Both on the throttle, and Hutton had a problem. He's going to fall all the way to about third. Might be in a 3-way battle here for that third spot. He was almost 3 wide. He is going to give up the spot. It's going to be Vestal, Heibelt, and Garman. Your top 3 right now, Hutton, Poe, Cobb. Cobb blinking out just a little bit. Todd Hutton now battling 4th and 5th back here, trying to get around. Like to get back and stay in the 3rd spot. That 4th spot, that's the trouble area right there. Everybody's going to be coming at you as Garrett Poe goes around in the middle of the track. He'll take over the bubble spot. That 4th spot, very, very important right now. That's the last transfer into the back of the B main. They are going at it up front. Heibelt, Garman, Vestal, they were 3 wide for a split second last lap coming out of turn 4. They got it sorted out now. So Heibelt leads with Garman second, Vestal in a third, and then Garrett Poe still hanging on to that 4th spot. Todd Hutton right on his heels, almost up against the push bar, trying to take it away. Slider attempt that time did not work. Actually, that wasn't a slider. That was Vestal getting out of shape. Vestal just got himself out of shape. He was in 3rd. Now he is 5th as Hutton, the 98 car, has taken over the bubble position. We're down to about 3 laps to go. Garmin caught Highbolt. He's going to take the lead on the inside, going into 1 and 2. Can he keep it? Coming out. Half a car going into 3 and 4, coming to the 2 to go signal. Great battle at the front right now. That time by Garmin, then Highbolt, Poe, and then Vestal got around Hutton again. He's got the bubble. We're coming to the white flag. It is still Garmin and Highbolt almost side by side. Car upside down. I think that's Hutton. Garmin's going to win the C-Main with Highbolt, Poe, and Vestal coming through to take transfer spots. Cobb, Howe, Clute, Flieger, Hutton, and Pratt all going to be done for the Spring Nationals. So we'll take those 4 cars. We're going to move them into the back of this B-Main. And I believe it said we were going to take 8 out of the B-Main and move them into the feature. Take a quick rundown of our School of Sim Racing starting lineup. Chris Marcantonio on the pole with Jordan Eder on his outside. Row 2, Ryan Washak and Timothy Alton. Row 3, Angel Ortega and Philip Kreutz. Bryce Barris and Robert Boggs in the 4th row. The 5th row, Scott Posey and Terry Queener. Then Brandon Garmin and Cale Highbolt out of the C-Main will make up row 6. And they brought Garrett Poe and Charles Vestal with them. Double check that and make sure I got that number right. Yep. Quick check of the transfer, and it is 8 officially now. So 14 cars racing for 8 spots. YouTube TV looks fine? That's interesting. Okay. I didn't have it on TV, so. I usually would put it up on my TV, but we had to disconnect it from the internet. I was having a problem with the cable, and I haven't made a new one yet, so. I will go back and watch it on the TV in the other room when I get done and see, but it may just be something with the PC settings, and I'll get in there and fiddle around with that and see if I can't get it fixed. B-Main time. 8 drivers will be left standing. They will join the 12 already locked into tonight's feature. So we're going to go green right here out of turn number 4. Marcantonio and Eder on the front row. Green flag in the air. And Chris Marcantonio asserted himself, took the lead, and he may not have it when we get to turn 3, but he had it coming out of 2. Here comes Washak up the inside. And the 77 machine is going to have the lead at the end of lap number 1. Jordan Eder with the slider line through 1 and 2 takes over second. Marcantonio third. Then it's Kreutz, Alton, Ortega, Queener. Robert Boggs right back here is our 8th car. Make him 7th. And Chris Ortega now 8th. Ortega, the 43 car. 49 car. 49 car it looks like right there. Hanging on to the 8th and final transfer spot. They're getting a little racy up front. Eder getting challenged by the 13 or the 14 of Kreutz right there. Oh, little contact there. Both drivers going to be able to keep them squared up. Just going to lose some time, not any positions. Alton was way on the outside. Thought maybe for a second he was going to be able to pick up third. Nothing doing that time. 5 out of the 15 laps in the books. Looking back here, Ortega still the bubble car right there, that 49 machine. Now he's the first car outside looking in. Cale Highbolt, the Dairy Queen machine, slides around him on the bottom, and he'll take over the 8th spot. So Highbolt on the bubble, trying to move up. He wants to put Queener, make him the bubble boy right now. Just keeps working right along the inside. Got a little wide that time with the left rear. Got it out of the sticky stuff. Keeps it in that time, but he's losing some time. Queener really getting it ramped up, finding some momentum off the top side. Washock right against the tires on the inside line. He keeps about 0.8 of a second over Philip Kreutz. Jordan Eder third. Timothy Alton, Robert Boggs, Chris Marcantonio, Terry Queener, and Cale Heibel are top 8. Little ways back to Bryce Barros in ninth. He's got 5 laps. If he's going to run down the 58 machine, he needs to get on his horse and put the whip to it right now. Go back, kind of look close to the front here. These guys not in danger of getting into lap traffic as far as it looks like, unless somebody makes a mistake back there around the Garrett Poe area. Scott Posey. Boggs still running in fourth. That's the 51 machine. Washock took the lead on lap number 1. He started about 3rd or 4th here, and he asserted himself quickly. Got to the point, never looked back. 2 to go, down to about a lap and a half now. And I think it's going to be a pretty fair bet that as he takes the white flag, he's got a shot to pick up the win in the B main. And he will start in position number 13 if he can do so. But Philip Kreutz on the outside really getting a run here. Is Kreutz going to steal it in the closing lap? Yes, he does, out of turn 4. Philip Kreutz takes to win the B main. Then Washock, Eder, Boggs, Alton, Queener, Marcantonio, and Cale Heibel hangs on to transfer into the A main. Warm-up session on the clock. I hate to even start a commercial just because you never know when these guys are going to advance. So we'll just sit here and talk to you. You're on your phone. It looked bad on the phone too, Ryan. It's got to be something with the smaller format stuff. Maybe the TV is okay. It's got to be just one setting that somehow just got changed by accident. So we'll go in there. We'll take a really good look at it, and we'll see if there's something we can do. But I can't do it mid-broadcast. If I do, then we miss a bunch of action. So we don't want to do that at all. Well, I don't know if they're going to put cars on the track for the warm-up, if they're having a quick driver's meeting before they get ready to go to the feature, just giving the guys a restroom break here. Well, we want to say thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Night number 2 of the NARC Spring Nationals, presented by Personal Evolution Company. Come by the Facebook page, like, share, and follow. YouTube and Twitch, hit the subscribe button. I haven't seen anybody talk to us from the Twitch stream yet. If you're in the Twitch stream, be sure you say hi in the chat. Love to know we got fans over there. I'm sure we do, because I see a lot of viewers watching this live. I'm not able to watch all the channels at one time, so. Okay, yeah, that is pretty odd. I don't know what's going on there. Huh. I'll have to get in there and take a look and see what got changed. I may have to get a hold of support. All right. We are going to get ready to put 20 360 wing sprint cars out here. As soon as they start gridding them out on the front stretch, we will get down here and run through the School of Sim Racing starting lineup. Cars starting to pop in now. And they will line up like this for the final night. The A main NARC 360 Sprint Car Spring Nationals, presented by Personal Evolution Company. Your School of Sim Racing starting lineup. Zach Janes on the pole with Rylan Gray on his outside. The second row will be Tyler Schell and Mason Hannigan inside and out. The third row, Bruce Klingon starts inside. Lane Stevens starts outside. Brady King will start inside of row number 4, and Jeff Stewart will start on his outside. Your 5th row, Jeremy Weigel and Kenny Hoffman inside and out. The 6th row, Jarris Pike inside, Tommy Brandon on the outside. Philip Kreutz will start inside of row 7 with Ryan Washok on the outside of him. Those two coming from the B main. And the remaining 3 rows will have come from that B main as well. There, Jordan Eder inside row 8 with Robert Boggs on his outside. And the 9th row, Timothy Alton starts inside with Terry Queener on the outside. And the back row, Chris Marcantonio will start inside with Cale Heibolt on his outside. Pace truck will accelerate away from the field. Zach James and Ryland Gray will get us going. Nothing left to do but the feature. And the green flag is underway. We are racing 35 laps to wrap up the Spring Nationals here at Cedar Lake, the NARC 360 sprint cars. Zach James to the point with Ryland Gray, Tyler Shell, Mason Hannigan, and we have our first caution at the end of lap number 1. Let's go see. All right, Washok might be in the middle of this. Oh, little contact right there. That is going to collect Heibolt. Heibolt just lost the front wing, it looks like. Might be able to go in, get a new one slapped on that machine. Come right back out. And that is exactly what they did. He drove in. They put a new one on. So we'll get the field back in order. Get everybody where they're supposed to be. Give this thing a restart here. We'll have 1 lap completed. Yeah, I hope so, Ryan. I don't know. Like I said, I might have to get in there and dig around a little bit, but I appreciate the input, man. All right, pace truck getting away from the field. They're going to get ready to restart right here. As James on the throttle, green flag in the air. He got a great jump on Ryland Gray. Shell Hannigan, then Bruce Klingen 5th. Klingen had company for a split second. Lane Stevens took a peek. Now Stevens got a big run on the outside. He takes 5th away. Stevens tucked right in behind Mason Hannigan. Now the gap's starting to stretch out a little bit. We're going to have a battle at the front, around the top side. Ryland Gray going to pick up the lead from Zach James. James stayed locked on the bottom. Don't know what that's about. Just don't think that car's going to be as fast. This is a very, very top side dominant track right now. Tyler Shell went around him. Looks like Mason Hannigan going to do the same. So move James from the point to 4th in about 2 laps. Lane Stevens still 5th, and Bruce Klingen is 6th. Brady King, Jeff Stewart, Jareth Pike, and Kenny Hoffman rounding out that top 10 right there. But Ryland Gray went to the top side, took the lead. Now he's starting to get away. Hannigan's going to go after Shell. Didn't get it done that time. Tried the slider line, couldn't get in front of his teammate right there. It's going to keep Zach James in the mix. James got back around Stevens. He's going to go the car on the infield. I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Marcantonio. Yes, it was. It was Christian Marcantonio that cut through the infield there. He's going to go a lap down to your leaders. Gray got by him. Shell got by him. Hannigan got by. Right now, Zach James is working by him. James clipped the fence in the middle of 3 and 4. Already 9 laps in the books. Ryland Gray, 1.5 seconds out of 4, and you can see the distance back to Hannigan and Shell, who are going at it side by side. They say sharing is caring, but I don't ever want a driver to share his right rear with me in any way, shape, or form. So maybe those two will work that out. Hannigan, Shell, second and third. Zach James still fourth. Lane Stevens now up to fifth. Gray still hanging on about 1.3 seconds now. Lost about a tenth. That could be because he got into lap traffic. He is up behind Heibolt. Heibolt real slow through the middle, and it looked like Gray maybe bumped him a little on the way by. He was running that slider line. Cost him about 2/10 is Mason Hannigan now. Starting to pour the horses to it. He is closing the gap. Got it under a second that lap. He was a good 2/10, 3/10 quicker the last time around. 13.614 to 13.316 first and second. Now that gap all but a handful of car lengths. So once again, 3.5 tenths. The 1 car faster than the 6 car. He is almost there. Gray can just about hear him now. They're going to be in lap traffic here in the next lap or so. And it's starting to get thick out in front of them. You can see how many cars are spread out across the track. This is the battle for the lead right there. The 06 of Gray, the 1X. Mason Hannigan. Hannigan now trying to go about a lane lower into lap traffic. Gray not going to be able to really get that slider in. He had to really work the car to get it through there. Now Hannigan in behind that 64 machine of Alton. He's kind of trapped in a box right there. He's going to lose some time unless he can find a way through. Gray going to stand locked to the top side. Guys trying to get out of the way. Going to put Hoffman a lap down. Now Hannigan is clear of the 3 wide behind him, but Shell closed up. These guys in heavy lap traffic. Your leader about to be in the worst of it. Hannigan closing back in. 3 cars in front of the leader. He's got to go to the bottom side now out of 4. Down to 13 laps remaining. Now slides it up, gets a little tap. Jeremy Weigel gave him a bump. Here's a battle for the lead. Slider from Hannigan. Couldn't make it stick. Gray goes right back by. Hannigan thought it might be time. Didn't get the door shut. Gray slipped right back through it. Now Gray behind lap traffic once again. Threads the needle between cars. Really didn't gain anything at all. Hannigan was the recipient of all of that action. But Hannigan tried to pull alongside out of 4, down to 10 to go. 3-car battle for the lead. Tyler Shell back in the mix. Still Gray, the blue car with the white sideboards on the wing up there. He's your leader. Mason Hannigan, the red and white car, and Tyler Shell in that blue and green machine. Those top 3, heavy traffic, and they are all over one another. Already lapped inside the top 10. Brady King, the next car on the hit list. He is in 10th, and Brady King right in front of these guys, the purple and yellow machine. That is 10th place. 7 to go. Top 3 still. Couple of car lengths apart in heavy traffic. Lane Stevens, 4th place, and he is a good distance behind this battle in the front. We're going to keep our eyes up here as they are 3 wide in front of the leaders. Jeff Stewart in the middle of that sandwich. Track not really open on the top. Gray is going to have to check up. That opens the door for Hannigan. Hannigan goes by. Here comes Shell. Now who's going to get the advantage and the love from the lap traffic? Stewart keeping him in. Shell goes up top, bumps into a car. That opens the door for Gray to get back in front again. Car in the wall. They both have to get around that. This might be a caution. That might change it all right there as Tyler Shell tried to sneak by. Shell saw the opening when the car got in the fence. They had to slow up a little and pull down, but he didn't get there before they got to the line. And I think the last time they crossed the start-finish line, that 1X car, yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was in second. I didn't think he was in the lead, so it'll put Rylan Gray back to the point We will restart with 4 laps to go. Great action at the front. Awesome in-lap traffic. And it really did play a factor. So the lead changed a couple of times in a lap, but did not ultimately end up affecting things a whole lot. And I don't know. We're going to find out. Mr. Gray stopped back there. Wait for the pace truck, I think. And now he is rolling again. So he'll dive between cars, go find the pace truck. So they try to get everybody sorted out. Going to wave a couple of cars around, get them out of the way of the
All right,
leaders.
man. Lights are back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
Extend the caution for at least one more lap. All righty. Might be one to go this time. They're letting the pace truck stay out in front of the field, getting single file. 4 laps to go. Gray, Hannigan, Shell. Then Stevens, Tommy Brandon up to 5th. Green flag back into the air. This time, Rylan Gray clear track in front of him. Can he hold off the 2 hungry hounds behind him? That time a little slip out of 4. That opens the door for Hannigan. Hannigan with the slider couldn't get it shut. Can he get it shut on his teammate? Hannigan goes back to 3rd, went for the lead and lost 2nd. 2 laps to go this time. Rylan Gray, then Tyler, Shell, Mason, Hannigan, and now Hannigan's going to go all the way to the top. Shell made the cut down right there, and he'll go back to 2nd. With the 06 of Rylan Gray, going to get to the white flag first one more time around, and he will win the NARC Spring Nationals. Tyler Shell and Mason Hannigan going at it. And here comes your winner out of turn number 4. Rylan Gray will pick up the win in the feature tonight. Tyler Shell 2nd, and Mason Hannigan 3rd. Then Tommy Brandon and Jeff Stewart with a good recovery all the way up to 5th in the late going. So we will get our top 3 cars around, park them here on the front stretch, and drag our 3 podium drivers into the channel. See what they have to say. Just waiting for Gray, Shell, and Hannigan to get the cars parked. I think that might be about as good as she's going to be. Yeah, definitely going to be about it. So let's find our, there's the little hurricane. There's Rylan Gray. We're just waiting for Tyler Shell to make his way into our waiting area. Mason Hannigan, you got a copy?
Yep.
Well, the Tropical Depression did a pretty good job out there tonight, man. Congratulations on a great run. You come home 3rd. Tell us about the feature.
Yeah, honestly, not very happy at all. It was fun through traffic, and then, we got that caution. I thought I knew I was quicker than Rylan. I made that mistake where me and Tyler started racing, and just, he got in clean air, and he was gone, so. Frustrating to say the least, but good win to Rylan.
Yeah, tell us about getting into the lap traffic, because he was pretty well out in front. Then you start closing the gap, he gets in traffic, you get right there. You guys start dicing it up with the lap cars, and you got boxed in for a little bit. Tell us a little bit about how you were working the traffic there.
Yeah, you just got to stick it in there and hope they lift. That's what you have to do. You can't slow down just let these guys by. You got to go by them quick and just pick up ground. And, we did a good job of that early on. And, me and Tyler and Riley were bunched up getting into 3. And, got across the line, and he was ahead of me by 8 thousandths, and that's what just won that race. So, it's racing, and it happens.
Well, a fantastic run, man. I'm sure you got some thank yous, some shout-outs before we let you get out of here tonight.
Yeah, Motorsports, Simpsons, Ultimate Dirt TV. I can't thank Tommy for putting on this race, and can't thank you guys for broadcasting it.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing you some next week, buddy. Yep. Little Hurricane Mason Hannigan coming home at third tonight. Let's get Tyler Shell. With a name like Shell, you'd think we would call the guy Turtle or something, but we don't. I don't know why he hasn't picked up a nickname. Tyler Shell, you got a copy?
Yeah, it's Gumby. That's the copy.
You know what? Actually, I did hear that before. I did hear Gumby before.
That's
doesn't explain much. Just doesn't explain much to me, buddy. Great run for you tonight. You battled your teammate there for a little bit, and you guys got to Gray. You got back to him when he got in traffic, man. Tell us what was going on in the feature there.
That was a lot of fun. Just wish it would have stayed under green to the lappers. Nice and that was a lot of fun. The lappers held their line, and it was just felt like a real race with lappers. Here on iRacing, really does feel like you ever get that. So it was fun to dice that up. I wish that caution never came out. Like I said, I was past Rylan coming off forward. Just he got the caution, got the lead back, and that's all she wrote. I just didn't have enough time or lappers to slow him down. Found the line there middle of 3 and 4, and I was really, really picking up time. Just didn't have enough time, but hell of a race. That was a lot of fun. Hope it was just as much fun to look at as the race.
Well, it's fun to call. I always enjoy when you guys get in lap traffic, and that was very heavy lap traffic. What does it take to get through that kind of traffic? Mason said you just got to stick it in there and hope that those guys know to lift.
Yeah, be honest, it's just a little bit of luck when I think we were 3 wide for the lead down the backstretch when that caution came out. Going into 3 before that caution came out, we're 3 wide. It was all luck on which lapper lifted for everyone else. Lappers did nothing wrong. It was kind of we're 3 wide for a lead. They don't know that. They're trying to get out of our way and accidentally slowed one of us up. That was kind of the make or break because, Rylan and Mason traded that for a couple laps before it, and then I got to there and just got lucky. The middle opened up and was able to slide in front of Rylan. Just caution came out, but hey, that's racing.
Well, still a great run. Second step of the podium. I'm sure you got a laundry list of people you'd like to thank for the hot rod tonight.
Yeah, just like to thank. I think Personal Evolution Company. They were the one that sponsored this whole thing. That was appreciate them for putting that on, and then Tom and everybody at SSR for being a great community and also putting this on. So then Flow Racing, Anderson Speedway, Motorsport Beat, Just Logistics. Pace by Tunic and Her Got Real Estate Group, BSR, Oval Photographs, Kench Pence Apparel, Roofco, and Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing you next week in some of the other series.
Sounds good, man.
Tyler Shell, your second place finisher. Let's move on to Rylan Gray here. Get Rylan. Rylan's been in here recently. His levels are all turned up. Rylan, you got a copy?
Yeah, hello.
Hey, man, great run tonight. You got way out in front of these guys early. Tell us, before you got to lap traffic, what were you doing out there to drive away from the rest of this bunch?
Just run the top as perfect as you can. Not tap the wall like I did last night, but glad I didn't do that. Every lap I just tried to perfect the top in whatever line it was. Stay away from Hannigan and Shell because I knew both of them were going to be big trouble for me, at least a chance for me winning. But thankfully, I held them off with lap traffic and the restart at the end of the race.
You get to lap traffic. The gap closes up. Now all of a sudden you can see and you can hear the 1 car. And before you know it, the 85 car is right there as well. What were you doing to try to get past these guys? Because I saw you get held up a couple of times.
Yeah, lap traffic's a big part of sprint car racing, especially at these small tracks. The best thing to do is just drive where they're not, even at the slowest lines. You'll get, as long as you get past them before the person behind you, in position-wise, you'll be far away from them.
Well, you did a great job. You catch a caution right there. at the end, and that kind of puts you in clean air. And from there, it was clear sailing. Little bit of a sigh of relief when the caution came out.
Yeah, Mason and Shell were definitely on my tail. Shell was charging, Mason was on the top. I'm just glad. I think I got the spot by 0.008 of a second for the restart, so pretty lucky with that too.
Well, a fantastic job tonight picking up the win here, closing out the Spring Nationals. I am quite sure that you've got a bunch of people you would like to thank for the great car tonight.
Yeah, just my family and my dad for saving up the money to get this rig for me. The last 2 years have been amazing on this simulator, finding all new people and friends to hang out with. Everybody on the car, Gray Auto, School Sim Racing, SSR Elite, Michael, Tommy, Billy, all the guys that got me on this team, Personal Evolution Company, just everybody that helped me get to where I am right now. And I guess Hannigan and Shell for also hanging out with me and giving me some tips for the race.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on a great run, picking up the win tonight. I look forward to seeing you back on the Dirt Racing Network very soon.
Thank you.
Your winner to close out the NARC Spring Nationals presented by Personal Evolution Company, Rylan Gray. Take a look at the results. Gray wins it, Shell second, Hannigan third. Then Thomas Brandon comes home fourth, Jeff Stewart fifth. Sixth to Lane Stevens, Bruce Klingon in seventh, Jarek Pite in eighth. Robert Boggs in the ninth spot, 10th to Jordan Eder. Jeremy Weigel in 11th, 12th to Kenny Hoffman. Timothy Alton in 13th, Kay Heibolt in 14th. Terry Queener in the 15th spot, 16th to Chris Marcantonio. Brady King comes home second. Zach Janes in 18th, 19th to Philip Kreutz. And Ryan Washak rounded out the field. Great night of racing. Got to see some fantastic action in traffic, and the top three did not disappoint at all. They put on one heck of a show for us. Been an awesome night of racing. I have enjoyed it immensely. I hope everyone watching has. Appreciate Tommy and the guys inviting us over to stream this out for them. We look forward to working with them in the future. We thank you for tuning in, you guys. Don't forget your likes, your shares, your follows. Next week, Monday night, we will be off until next Monday night. Got the Easter holiday. Nobody is racing. We don't have anything planned. We may do some testing, see if we can fix that YouTube issue. But Monday night, Dirt Slingers kicks off their 15th season of Monday Night Thunder. 360 wing sprint cars. 8 o'clock Eastern. Dominic Santino will have the call. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. Full slate of racing for you. Be sure that you tune in each and every night. Say hi in the chat. Hey, there was somebody from Twitch. I finally saw somebody from Twitch. But be sure you tune in each and every night. Let us know you're there. Say hi in the chat. A lot going on, especially on the Thursday series. Make sure you're here for that. Check out the Facebook page this weekend for all the new advertising explaining why you need to be there, especially on the Thursday night series. Until we see you guys the next time. For Dominic Santino